I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you got. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man, yes. Kilt-Man, sadly, with some rather tragic news. I'm wearing the dress Stewart. Now, that isn't the tragic news. The tragic news, sadly, is that wonderful character actor Joseph Joe Pilato died on the 25th of March this year. We're now the 27th. It was a couple of days ago. The news got broken to me whilst I was sitting having a whiskey, and it was like a bit of a crushing blow. The thing about people like Joe Pilato, now some of you are going like, who the hell is Joe Pilato? Well, if you're a genre film fan, if you're a fan of horror movies, and I'm sure a lot of you are, George Romero's zombie series, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and then the others, which we won't really go into. But Day of the Dead is a huge movie. That was the third in what was meant to be a trilogy of movies. And Joseph Pilato, he liked to be known as Joseph, this actor, Italian-American actor. He played what has got to be one of cinema's most iconic and most infamous villains, screen villains ever. Now you've got the George Romero flesh-eating zombie cycle, begun in 1968 with Night of the Living Dead. Black and white, massive culture shock of a movie. The Living Dead have come back. We don't really know why they've come back, but they've come back. And then almost 10 years later, he comes out with what is possibly the most epic zombie movie of all time. It'll never be trounced. It's been remade, it's been copied, but it'll never be beaten. Dawn of the Dead. And that is, whichever version you watch, it's still the most epic godfather of gory zombie movies you're ever going to witness. And then, of course, he had to finish it off because it was meant to be a trilogy. So you'd have Night, Dawn, then you had Day of the Dead, Day of the Dead, in 1985. A troubled production, of course, as Romero's controversial movies always were. The MPAA did not like what he was coming out with. The producers and the suits, the money people, did not like the epic scale of what he came out with, because it's meant to be the idea of humans, scientists in a bunker, zombies all around the world. But the medical doctor scientific side of them were creating a sort of a zombie army. They were doing experiments on the zombies and trying to create a zombie army, which of course the military side, because you had civilians, you had the scientific brigade, and you had the militaristic brigade, who wanted the zombies to form their own army, and like sort of super dead soldiers, super warriors. The whole thing got cut massively down from an epic screenplay into a very sort of claustrophobic screenplay. Now, I'm not reviewing the film because this is meant to be a tribute to Joe Pilato, and Joe Pilato played the infamous Captain Rhodes, who down in this bunker, there's only a ragtag scientific bunch. You've got the helicopter pilot, the radio man, you've got the military. And the military don't have any orders anymore, because whatever broadcasts and orders they were getting from outside in other like Washington or New York or wherever, they've ceased getting any messages, because the world's fallen now, it's fallen. And Captain Rhodes, played by Joseph Pilato, has become a complete and utter bastard, a megalomaniac bastard, a fascist twat. And what's interesting is that Joe Pilato, who to me always looked like Bono from the band U2, the tremendous rock band U2, he has that Bono look, the nose, the hair. Until he died, his hair was long, and he'd often be seen in a vest with lots of medallions and, you know, a bit of a bling about him. And he just reminded me so much of Bono. But Joe Pilato, who worked on the stage in New York and then moved to Pittsburgh and joined what was the Pittsburgh family of stage actors, and they were doing a bit of TV and stuff like that. And George Romero spotted him because he would go to New York, he'd go to LA, but he'd always come back to Pittsburgh because that's his hometown, to find a nest of actors from there. And initially, Joe Pilato, who'd done a lot of Shakespearean stuff on stage, would then go on to Dawn of the Dead, and he read for the character of Stephen, the helicopter pilot, eventually played by the great David Emge. And he didn't get that part. He got the part of a guy who's another cop on the run. This is the 1978 Dawn of the Dead. He's on the run, and our heroes meet him at the dockside, and they realise there's a bit of a standoff. If you watch the full version, there's a bit of a standoff between them, and they realise, hang on, we're all after the same thing. We all want to get away, and these guys get away in like a boat, whilst they get some supplies and go for a helicopter. And his role was just only small, and in some versions you don't even see him. But he obviously, Romero liked what this guy had. So when Day of the Dead came about, and in the meantime he'd had a starring role in the film Effects, not a great film by any stretch, but he had a presence which was important, and a kind of intensity, which is clearly what Romero zeroed in on, because when they brought him in for Day of the Dead, Joe Pilato thought he was going for the role of Steele, who was played by the great Gary Clark, huge, big, hulking guy, and the way it was written in the script, he was a hulking brute of a fella, and Pilato thought, I'm going for that. So he bulked up, but he was still nothing compared to Gary Clark. So when he came in, Romero said, no, you're not. I don't see you as Steele, but I do see you as Captain Rhodes, who is the military commander who's took over after the previous commander has mysteriously died, and is now running this underground silo, this nuclear-proof silo, deep underground, where these factions, science and humanitarians and fascist military twats, have to coexist and work together. They ain't going to work together for long, clearly. And Captain Rhodes starts off as being quite, you understand him. He's sitting there, he's getting the daily reports, and he's like, facts and figures, and like, come on, what have you got for me now? And Richard Liberty, who plays Logan, aka Dr. Frankenstein, the guy who's doing all the experiments on the zombies, Rhodes can't quite work out, why are we keeping these puss-brain bags of shit alive to do experiments? All I want to do is shoot the mothers in the head. All I want for them is to drop over. That's all he wants. And this megalomaniacal side of him, his pathological fascist side, will gradually, not even gradually, because once the film starts, it's pretty much on that downward fucking slide into absolute oblivion and the moral abyss. And Rhodes is the absolute figurehead of that. Now, what Romero spotted was that brooding, dark intensity, that sadistic glint in his eye. That's also backed up by a fact that the guy believes in what he's doing. And Joe Pilato, certainly, he convinces, as despicable as he is, you do like the guy. He's funny, he's so volatile, he's so he's incendiary, and he swears like a fucking trooper, because he is a fucking trooper. But he has all he has magnums on his side, he's got an M16 down his back, he's got a knife down his boot, he's got all sorts of paraphernalia. He is a fascist, almost Che Guevara type revolutionary. And in this sort of horrendous volatile, explosive little microcosm of the world society down in his bunker. He wants to rule the roost. Facts and figures, McDermott hasn't got the radio gear he needs. You've not got this, you've not got that. What the fuck are we doing down here, people? This is a fucking war! Because he's got the military, which is what? In this version of the film, this condensed version of Romero's apocalyptic finale, there's only a handful of soldiers. And it's just... And they're obese, they're knobheads, they're long-haired and got beards. Because the world's gone to rat shit. But you can see there are flickers in what Joe Pilato does here, that he does want some sort of order, some sort of wild order to what's going on. Anyway, this thing will completely dovetail into the typical George Romero finale, where the zombies will invade this halcyon land, this protected sanctuary, and lay waste to everybody and shred them to bits in some of Tom Savini's most outrageously gory effects. And into this environment, Joe Pilato, who has threatened pretty much everybody in the film. Sarah, Laurie Cardille, who's plays Sarah, and she's our kind of conduit into this hellish environment. We follow her, and of course, being the only female down there, she's seriously under threat from all the males. She has a lover down there, Miguel, who's got PTSD and is fucked up, and will become he'll get a bite on, get his arm severed, and his ultimate demise will create the downfall of our last group of human survivors. But Captain Rhodes, under the fantastic characterization by Joe Pilato, enforces this sort of wedge between the libertarians, the liberal side, and the purely fascist side. But you see him turn. He's already a bad bastard to begin with, but he's patiently waiting for results from these experiments, but not really working out why they should be doing them in the first place. And then of course he discovers that because Logan, Dr. Frankenstein, has his prize zombie, Bub, played by Howard Sherman, the great Howard Sherman, and Bub, who used to be in the military. He's reading a Stephen King book, and he's learning how to do things. He's trying to talk. He sees Rhodes come in, and he salutes Rhodes like that. And Logan says, apparently he was in the military. Why didn't you salute him back? And of course, Joe Pilato just goes like, what? You want me to salute that walking bag of pus? Salute my ass. But you see why? He's the military man. Why the fuck is he gonna see Logan's really bizarre and very Frankensteinian aspects on training these people? Experiments on he's got corpses there with just the brain attached to the cerebral cortex, and why is a military man gonna respect that? It's just not gonna happen. So him and his mates, and they're all getting pissed. Actually, you don't see Rhodes getting pissed, but everyone else is getting pissed left, right, and centre. And when it all goes tits up, of course, there's the great sequence of Sarah stands up to him. We can't do this. You're demanding things that we cannot do. Slams the books down, and he goes, "If you don't sit down, lady, I'll have you shot." What? Steele, which of course is the role he went for, which is played by Gary Clark. Shoot that woman. And Steele goes, bang! You're dead, like that with his fingers, and then Rhodes gets up. Captain Rhodes, Joe Pilato, with a big silver magnum, and just goes like, "You shoot that woman, or I'll shoot you, or I'll have you shot." And he's like, so Gary Clark has to get up, and doesn't want to do it. really tense scene. Now these scenes Romero does brilliantly, but it's Joe Pilato who frames these sequences and becomes the epicenter of the fury and the rage that's in them. And he is just so intense, brooding, scary. He's no physical threat to anybody, but his sheer authoritarian stance, his embittered fucking hatred of pretty much everybody around him, and the fact that he's being bitten away by all and sundry, it's testament to what Joe Pilato as an actor could really do. Now, Pilato acted in many things afterwards, even for Tarantino. He's in Pulp Fiction. He's in many movies, but nothing ever came close to his portrayal of Captain Rhodes. And it really is a shame, because this guy, oh man, he died at the age of 70. Died peacefully in his sleep, as we're told. I'm not sure what he died of. I really don't know. I meant to do this obituary a couple of days ago, but things happened. I'm now playing the Day of the Dead soundtrack by John Harrison behind us, and I'm going to play Rhodes' best scenes in a bit. But this guy could really have gone on. He had such a commanding presence. And if you see, he's in the film Night Riders as well, George Romero's earlier movie, the Camelot reinvention, where they're on motorbikes and jousting. Camelot is not a place, it's a state of mind, you know. It's a brilliant concept. And he's tremendous in that. He's tremendous in everything he ever does. He gives heart and soul to it. And if only he got that big break. Day of the Dead was the thing where, I've said before about, in the UK, we waited for this movie for over a year. We knew it was coming, and it had so much sense of trouble that did we even think we were going to get one? The BBFC, the MPAA in America, BBFC in this country, didn't want the film at all, and it looked like we weren't going to get it. And a year we waited, and Dan O'Bannon's Return of the Living Dead came out in the meantime, and many people do confuse that. They've been, hang on a minute, we were acting in the Florida scenes as zombie extras for Day of the Dead, and then Return of the Living Dead comes out, and they're going like, they were phoning George Romero up and saying like, hang on a minute, where's our scenes? That wasn't my film, because that came out and got a release and came out first. But Romero's film was actually filmed and completed first, but it had this horrendous weight to meet its loving, adoring audience. I will review the movie at some point, probably. I'm going to do like a Romero. I have said it before, but I'm a massive, from the age of, the age of that big, which would be 8. I was a fan of George Romero's movies. 8, 9, and my God. So, but Joe Pilato's status in the pantheon of George Romero stars, and I've met all of the cast of Dawn of the Dead, so much so that I was actually dumbstruck. I couldn't even speak to them, and they all sat there and waited for me to say something, and I couldn't speak. That's another story. That is another story. I know Joe Pilato went onto the convention circuit and has been very, very popular. He's a great raconteur. His memories are superb. They were superb. They were very crisp. He was full of anecdotes. He remembered every day on set, and he could tell stories. He would appear with his dog tags for playing Captain Rhodes, which I always thought was a bit daft in the movie. Romero's portrayal of soldiers never really rings true, but it's the end of the world and everything's going fucking helter-skelter, so it doesn't matter. But they wear the dog tags on the outside of their jackets, and it just doesn't seem right. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And he'd wear them, and he would make time for everyone who came up and wanted an autograph, and he would tell stories. And he's done the Q&A sessions. He's on a lot of the releases of Day of the Dead, giving great interviews and tremendously in depth as well. What a great guy! What a tremendous guy! Such a shame that he's gone now. I never met him. I never met Joe Pilato. I wish I had, but it's one of those where you feel like you've known someone. It's a film you've grown up with, and you've watched it so many times, and you feel like you know that person. For many years you watch the film and you love but hate him, and then you meet him via the extra features on other discs, and you read interviews or hear interviews with him, and you get the whole new side of the character, the guy himself, and you just get a whole newfound respect for him. And what a tremendous fella. And of course, he suffered for his art. Oh my God. We all know, Captain Rhodes' demise is spectacularly grim. This motherfucker, once the zombies invade the silo, he will leave his own men, he'll drive off in it's a golf cart. You could walk past it, but he manages to leave his men behind, and then he'll go, Rhodes, you bastard! He's like, and he seals himself into one of the corridors, this underground bunker, which is a huge labyrinth. And but the zombies will infiltrate and take everybody out, basically. But of course, Rhodes will arm himself up, get loads of magazines for his M16s and all that. But Bub, the friendly zombie. There's a great. I'll just go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit, because you've got Terry Alexander, who plays the Jamaican helicopter pilot. Maybe he got too pissed off us trying to work his sheet out, and he says to Sarah at one stage, like, when they realise that Rhodes is a bit of a fucking megalomaniac, he says, like, he probably won't shoot old Frankenstein because the old guy can talk him silly, but you guys, and he means Sarah and John Amplas, who played Martin in George Romero's vampire movie Martin, and he says, you guys, you better look out for yourselves. And of course he's wrong, because Rhodes machine guns to bits, Richard Liberty's Dr. Logan, Dr. Frankenstein, because he discovers what they've been feeding these pet zombies, and it's bits of his soldiers who've died, and it's a great moment again for Joe Pilato. Those are my men in there. You understand. He bombed his troops or his family, and you've got the scientific family, so you get that massive distinction, and you understand why he sides with his men, which again makes the kind of, once it all goes fucking tits up, and he goes and leaves his men behind. But that outcry of, those are my men in there, and he machine guns Dr. Frankenstein. So you probably won't shoot old Frankenstein because the old man can talk him silly. Wrong. Frankenstein can't talk himself out of like a couple of magazines worth of 556 bullets. But the infiltration of the zombies, I'll go on about this in a proper review but when Rhodes encounters Bub has found the body of his father, which would be, Richard Liberty's Dr. Logan, and he knows that Rhodes has done it. So he picks up a gun. Oh yeah. And he will encounter Joe Pilato's Captain Rhodes in the corridor. And Rhodes is like, he can't, it's great because in his panic, he can't get a magazine in his fucking M16. He's like, you bad fuck. And Bub just rages, takes him out, and he's running. He gets bullets in him. He's running down corridors. He's dropping his guns. You bad fuck. You puss fuck, which was a great improvised line. You puss fuck. And Pilato remembers that the sound technician who's at the mic, who's going to George Romero, did he just say puss fuck? It's not in the script. Puss fuck. And Romero said, I like it. Keep it in. And because I'm going on a tangent here again. Pilato is a very creative guy, and he would approach Romero all the time, say, look, I've got an idea for this scene. Can I say this? Can I say that? And forever, apart from the puss fuck bit and the bit I'm coming to, Romero was going, no, I like the idea, but no, let's not do that. But he promised him, he said, like, I've got an idea for the final sequence, Rhodes' death sequence. I've got an idea for that. Can I whisper in your ear? And he went, okay, yeah, go on, what is it? Okay. And Romero went, you've got it. You can have that line. I promise you can have that line. So, poor old Joe Pilato. The finale of the movie, for him anyway, is Bub's chasing him down the corridor, Howard Sherman shambling. And he's hitting Rhodes, he's fucking wounded. Rhodes opens it, he's going, come on! And he's got no weapons left, and he opens his closet door, well, what he thinks is a closet door, and inside are, a multitude of zombies, famous scene of all the hands coming in, and Rhodes going, He turns round, and Bub takes one careful aim, but he shoots him, like there. Doesn't kill him. It's because Bub knows, no, I'm not going to put you out your misery. You're going to get fucking torn to bits, which is what happens to him. And the sequence is, as he gets dragged down, and he's kind of staring at Bub, because he knows, you could have fucking killed me there, but you didn't do it, you bastard. You puss-brain bag of shit, as Steele would have called him. And as he hits the deck, the zombies all plough into his guts, and they abscond with his legs because they tear him in half. And in the great sequence that this is, Rhodes, Joe Pilato's improvised line, the one he whispered in George Romero's ear, was like, Rhodes wouldn't go down without saying something. He's a volatile, nasty piece of work. He's going to give him a fucking send-off. So his line is, choke on him! Meaning his guts. Choke on him! Because they're going to be eaten. Choke on him! But when you watch that scene, you have to remember that poor old Joe Pilato was buried in the floor up to his neck with a fake chest and body. And inside that body were the rotting entrails, rotting animal guts that they'd had in storage for a long, long time. And this was purportedly the final day of the shoot. As he says, as Joe Pilato actually always says, the last day of the shoot. And he's there, and the stench of these guts are really, he's there for like hours and hours waiting in this thing for the zombies to do it, to get all made up and get the guts in place, get the effects up Tom Savini's crew. And the stench is choking him, he's gagging, they're giving him oxygen because the guy can't fucking breathe. And then finally, action. And the zombie extras nail it in one take. Whoa, the legs come away, the guts and entrails spill out, they all chow down and choke on him! Choke on him! And he's praying for a minute to go, cut, because that stench has got him. Now, there is footage of after that sequence where, cut, in the film, yeah, they've got him, and Bub just goes and salutes him, and then looks at the gun and shambles off. Job done. But if you watch Pilato in the sort of the Savini full footage, he is gagging, and he's like, fucking, give me the choke on him. And trying to get that mask to him. He's in a bad way. But what a guy, what a trooper. He nails that part. His volatility, his sheer aggression, his fascist stance are electrifying to behold. But, as I said before, there's an underlying sort of like humanity to what he's done. To like, why they're my men! They're my men! This is a fucking war! He just wants to kill them and survive. He doesn't want to educate zombies. You get it. You do get it. And it's because of Joe Pilato's absolutely exemplary performance. Not got much time left. We're going to go into Rhodes leaves his men. Might just get time for this. This is Rhodes in his golf buggy. John Harrison's score is fucking amazing. The best score for a George Romero movie, by far, by far. Although Christopher Young's score for The Dark Half is very, very good as well. But Joe Pilato, what a guy, what a trooper, suffering for his art, giving his all to a performance which has gone down in cinematic history. That's Bub finding the body of Frankenstein, and then the guns. Just want to play this. This is perhaps my favourite bit of music in Day of the Dead from John Harrison. This is where Tasso Stavrakis, who is Tom Savini's mate, is in many of the George Romero movies as well, as another soldier, gets his head ripped off. They put their fingers, there's only fingers in his eye sockets, and haul his head off like a fucking bowling ball, and his neck stretches. And his mouth's still going. It's fabulous. And then Rickles gets his face torn apart. His eyes there as well, like his face has been ripped off. Oh, it's just fantastic. And so sad that we've lost another genre titan. He may not have done a great deal in the horror genre beyond this, but what he did with Day of the Dead is just, it's gold standard, Olympic standard. Captain Rhodes, courtesy of Joe Pilato, is just tremendous. Joe, I salute you. And all I can say is, mate, wherever you are now, choke on him! Choke on him! Guys, I was going to turn it off there, but no, I've got a couple of seconds left. I've got more to come, but pay your respects to Joe Pilato, tremendous actor, great character actor. And I'm going to see you all. I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you got.